So we're going to be looking at the end behavior of functions. So end behavior, so basically what number does it reach or what happens to the graph towards the very, very end. We're going to use a calculator. I'm going to be using a calculator. Remember, you guys have on the left side, you guys have links for our calculator there. You have a calculator at home. You can use that as well. I'm going to be using a calculator for this. So for question 19, use a scientific calculator. Using a scientific calculator, Alex makes a table for 1.01 to the x and 2 times x squared. Okay, let me find some values here. So I'm going to fill up this table. The value of x, I see a list here at the side. 0, 2, 5, 15, 25. So what I'm asking you in this case is fill out your table here. So 1.01. Oh, actually, let me do blue for this case. For the first function, let me use blue. So I'm going to do 1.01 to the 0 power. I can type this on a calculator. 1.01 to the 0 powered gives me 1. Yeah, anything to the 0 powered is 1. Not bad. Now, what is 1.01 to the second power? Okay, I typed it on my calculator. Let me round my answer to 2 decimal places. On your homework, don't worry, you're not going to deal with decimals. On the notes, we will. If we can deal with decimals on the notes, you can deal with non-decimals on the homework. So I'm just going to get this as 1.02. I round it to 2 decimal places. For the next one, 1.01 to the 5th powered, I'm going to get 1.05. If I go here, 1.01 to the 15th powered, I get 1.16. And for the last 1.01 to the 25th powered, I get about 1.28. So I was just looking at what happens with the graph 1.01 to the x, changing on the x. So it seems like we started at 1 and then we were increasing a very low pace. My x values were increasing slow at the beginning, 0, 2, 5, but then they grew fast. But my y value did not change much. Okay, so it's increasing, but not too fast. What happens on the other equation? 2 times x squared. So I'm asking for you guys to type in 2 times 0 squared. Now 2 times 0 squared gives me 0. Okay. 2 times 2 squared, because remember for this one, my x's value is 2. So 2 times 2 squared, I get 8. Now here, 2 times 5 squared, calculator says 50. How about 2 times 15 squared? Well, my calculator says 450. How about 2 times 25 squared? And my calculator says 1,250. Whoa. So in this case, they start at 0 and then it was growing up fast. When I compare my functions, when I compare my y values here, one of them started at 1, the other one started at 0. So one of them started with a head start. But I see at the very, very end, the one that started with a head start did not advance much because from 1 went up to 1.28. Did not advance that much. The second one that started at 0 at the end is 1,250. So it's growing really, really fast. And then I see a question here at the bottom says, identify whether 1.01 to the x powered or 2 times x squared grows faster. Well, in this case, I'm going to pick the one that's growing faster. It is 2 times x squared. Okay, let me not highlight this actually. I'm just going to pick this. 2, x squared is growing faster. Check. Let's take a look at my second table here. Using a scientific calculator, Alex makes a table for x squared and 5x plus 3. So what I'm asking is, and look, my values of x are going to change a little. So be careful on that, okay? My values of x are going to change. So I'm going to go 0 squared, 1 squared, 3 squared, 16 squared, and 20 squared. So I have to complete this table. The values I want to get are 0, because 0 squared is 0, 1, because 1 squared is 1, 9, 256, and then 400. So I see how fast x squared is increasing. How about 5x plus 3? So the values the way I'm gonna be finding this out, let me change this to red. Let's see. I'm gonna do 5 times 0 plus 3, and that gives me 3. Okay, the value of y is 3. Now, if x equals 1, I'm gonna go 5 times 1 plus 3. So my result gives me 8. If x equals 3, I'm gonna go 5 times 3 plus 3, and I get 18. If x equals 16, okay, so 5 times 16 plus 3, according to my calculator, I get 83. Well, what if x equals 20? Remember, the values of x, I'm getting it from the left side. You guys see on the left side? So what if x equals 20? So I have 5 times 20 plus 3, and my result is 103. So I'm going to compare the values of x squared with the values of 5x plus 3. The very beginning, I see that 5x plus 3 started higher. So they started with a head start. At the very beginning, 5x plus 3 was higher. Then when x equals 1, when x was 1, 5x plus 3 was still higher. When x was 3, 5x plus 3 was still higher. But then when x was 16, we switched. X squared was higher here. And x squared just kept on increasing fast. And then 5x plus 3 was increasing, but not that fast. So my question here it is, identify whether x squared or 5x plus 3 was growing faster. I'm going to choose x squared. Now, one thing, if we were in the classroom, I would wait until you guys finish your homework and tell you guys this. But in this case, in reality, one thing that I want you guys to see, this is the one thing I want us to notice is the exponent, the highest exponent on our equations. X squared, the highest exponent is 2, right? 5x plus 3, the highest exponent is 1. I'm going to compare the highest exponent. If there's more than one exponent, just looking at the highest exponent. The graph, the function that has the highest exponent will be the one growing up faster. So having that said, I could give you guys for example, I could say one of my function is 5x squared plus 3x. In another function, I could have something like 2x to the 7th minus 3x to the 4th plus 7x squared. And I could even ask you, which one's going to grow faster? We can create a table. We can come up with values of x. X equals 0 to begin with. X equals 1. X equals 2. Low values of x. X equals 30. X equals 50. X equals 100, right? Bigger values of x. So we can compare. But when I look at the highest exponents, I see one of them, my highest exponent is 2. The other one, the highest exponent is 7. the highest exponent rules. So I'm going to tell you guys that in that case, 2x to the seventh minus 3x to the fourth plus 7x squared will grow faster. Don't believe me? Try it out. But that is one thing that I kind of want you guys to see.